The House of Representatives passed the more than $700 billion so-called Inflation Reduction Act yesterday, and there's a lot in there that will have an impact on your wallet and our economy. Joining us now to break it down, really the best person for this job, Americans for Tax Reform founder and president Grover Norquist. Grover, thank you so much. I know you've been going through this, really scouring this bill for weeks now. Let's break it down. We really want to educate the audience here. What's in this bill? And we've got some graphics. I want to just kind of march through all of this. Talk to us about what's in this thing.
Sure. To begin with, the question everyone's asking is, did Biden keep his word when he said in his campaign dozens and hundreds of times that he would never allow any American who earned less than $400,000 to pay a penny in additional taxes? That was the promise. Wording exact, kept saying it. He broke the pledge. He broke the pledge. He broke the pledge. He lied his way into office. Okay? You just threw up there's a tax on oil. There's a tax on natural gas production. There's a tax on coal, which pretty much covers most energy in the United States. Every American is hit by this bill. Everyone is made poorer by it on the energy taxes alone. Then you add to that the 87,000 new IRS agents, $80 billion to pay the 87,000 guys. They're going to add, that's twice the size of the British Navy, by the way. I mean, people are having lots of fun coming up with comparisons, but it's a big number. I think there are only 6 colleges that have larger football stadiums. The 87,000 could barely fit in all of them, those top 6. It's a lot. Yeah. Much more than they could use for any good purpose. They say they're going to do 1.2 million more audits. Let's see, only billionaires and big companies, that's what Biden says. There are 500 members of the Fortune 500, and there's 700 billionaires. Where's the rest of the 1.2 million? That's you and me. That's independent contractors, that's small businesses, that's self-employed people, and the IRS. While Biden was out lying, saying it would just be big corporations and billionaires, the IRS was telling you honestly, it's the small business community, the medium-sized business. That's who they're going to be auditing.
Yeah, well, look, the corporations, they've got the money to fight the IRS. They've got they've got the high-powered accountants. They're already being audited. They're already being audited, and they're already beating the IRS. The folks that are going to get hit by this are the small business owners. And what I find particularly offensive is the fact that they're really targeting in the tax provisions here sole proprietor businesses, and the gig economy, people who are independent contractors. They are going after those folks like never before. Talk to us about that.
There's a reason for that. You cannot unionize those people. They do not pay dues. They are self-employed. They think they created their own job. They don't think their congressman or senator or governor or state legislator did anything for them. They believe, quite correctly, they created their own job and jobs for their neighbors. Right. Politicians, left-wing politicians, have no need for those people, no use for them. They like people they give welfare to who say, thank you very much, I'll vote for you. What the small business, leave me alone, I'm doing things, I'm hiring people, I don't need your help. Well, then how are you going to vote for me? I'm not going to vote for you. Well, then I think we'll stick the IRS on you. They've been changing labor law to damage about 13 million people who are gig economy, self-employed folks. And that's a large number. And a lot of people do a little of it from time to time, in addition to some other kind of job that they have. There's a war on the self-employed, on small businesses. And they're going to use the IRS as part of that, labor law as part of that.
You got, Grover, you got a 95% federal excise tax on U.S. pharmaceutical manufacturers in here. What is that about?
Okay, it's not a tax, it's price controls. They say if you don't, the government, you invent something they'll cure Alzheimer's. And they go, that's very nice, we'll give you $1 pill. But we spent $2 billion to invent, nope, this is our negotiation. We're telling you what we're gonna take. They talk about, shouldn't we be able to negotiate prices? There's a market price for these drugs. The government doesn't like the market price. They will tell you, we'll only pay so much. Well, for a while, the government can get away with stealing people's intellectual property. But the next time somebody says, I have an idea to get something that helps on Alzheimer's, it'll cost us $5 billion to produce. And at the end of it, if we're lucky and we get something that works, the government will decide we can't make any money at it at all. Guess what? You know what? I think we'll go build a casino instead.
Yeah.
So they are going to be driving people out of. This is what happened to the rest of the world, where they do have price controls like this.
Right.
They don't invent.
They don't have R&D.
Like we do.
They don't have R&D the way that we do. They don't have innovation the way that we do in the rest of the world. You know, a lot of folks would say, well, yeah, of course Grover is going to say that this bill is terrible, and that the president, you know, broke his promise. The CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, all right, scored this, and Democrats wanted to rush the bill through while we were all talking about an FBI raid, coincidentally. Talk to us about this bombshell CBO report that came out this week that I don't think anybody really paid much attention to, except for you and us here at Newsmax.
The government points out that the IRS targets are going to get about $20 billion on people who make not very much money at all. Most of this cash is going to come from middle-income people. So they did a study on the incidence of taxation of the extra IRS agents, and not just on the taxes on energy and the corporate taxes, which of course are paid for by people in lower wages and higher prices. Corporations don't have any money they don't get from selling goods and services. And if you take $1 million out of them, they can hire fewer people, they can pay people less, and they can raise prices, all of which hurts everybody. So, and the CBO and the Congressional Budget Office has pointed out that the way they're going to be targeting, the way the government admits they plan in the law to target and have more people gone after by the IRS, it's going to hit middle-income people and lower-income people a great deal.
J.P. Morgan's CEO is warning that an economic hurricane is coming. Are you preparing? If you don't do anything, your 401k could be a 201k, and that is not good. So call our trusted friends at Lear Capital. For 25 years, Lear has helped investors own gold to protect against market chaos. It's a good thing. They can help you too. Get your information and up to $15,000 in bonus IRA gold. Just call this number, 800-880-4300. That's 800-880-4300.